The Lizard King in Stone, a Parisian tribute. Jim Morrison was the iconic frontman of The Doors. His music and poetry captivated millions. Paris became his final refuge. Sadly, he died in Paris in 1971. His death added to his mythic status. The idea for a statue emerged from deep admiration. Fans wanted a permanent memorial in Paris. Père Lachaise cemetery was chosen as the site. This is where Morrison is buried. The statue would be a focal point. It would allow fans to pay their respects. The tribute was to be lasting. Many people supported this important project. The statue itself was a striking piece of art. It depicted a thoughtful, brooding Morrison. The sculptor aimed to capture his complex persona. It was cast in enduring bronze. This material would withstand time and weather. The artwork was more than just a likeness. It represented his rebellious spirit. It quickly became famous. Fans from all over the world flocked to see it. It became an essential part of any Morrison pilgrimage. Flowers and messages were left daily. The statue stood as a silent guardian. It deepened the cemetery's mystique. The commission for the statue was a significant undertaking. It was driven by a collective of devoted fans. International fan clubs played a large role. They pooled resources and passion. The decision was formally made in the early 1980s. They wanted a tribute worthy of Morrison's impact. A talented Parisian sculptor, Antoine Dubois, was chosen. Dubois was known for his expressive figures. He felt a connection to Morrison's artistic energy. His vision was to create more than a mere portrait. He wanted to convey Morrison's inner world. The challenge was to sculpt a legend. He studied countless photographs and videos. He read Morrison's poetry extensively. He immersed himself in the Doors' music. The sculpting process was meticulous and demanding. Dubois first created sketches and small maquettes. He then moved to a full-scale clay model. Bronze was selected for its permanence and beauty. Dubois dedicated nearly 2 years to the project. Every detail, from the hair to the contemplative gaze, was carefully considered. The unveiling ceremony took place on a crisp autumn day in 1983. Fans, friends, and art critics attended. The public reaction was overwhelmingly positive. The statue was praised for its artistry. It immediately became an iconic part of Père Lachaise. The statue vanished on a cool spring night. The date was April 15, 1987. News of its disappearance sent shockwaves. Fans and authorities were stunned. How could such a significant piece vanish? The empty plinth was a stark sight. An immediate sense of violation filled the air. The calm of the cemetery was shattered. The mystery began almost instantly. Père Lachaise cemetery became a crime scene. The area around Morrison's grave was cordoned off. Police investigators arrived quickly. They searched for any clues. Unfortunately, there were few traces left behind. No witnesses had seen anything suspicious. The thieves had worked silently and efficiently. The weight and size of the statue suggested a planned operation. It was not an impulsive act. The initial investigation yielded little. The thieves were like ghosts. Many theories about the culprits emerged. Some believed overzealous fans took it. Others suspected professional art thieves. The lack of a ransom note was puzzling. The statue's disappearance became legendary. The impact on Jim Morrison's fans was profound. The theft was seen as a desecration. Section 4, Decades of Silence, the Long Cold Trail. In the early years after the theft, efforts were made. The Parisian police conducted their investigation. They followed any leads that surfaced. Appeals were made to the public for information. Art collectors and dealers were alerted. However, no significant breakthroughs occurred. The statue seemed to have vanished completely. Hope for its quick recovery began to fade. The trail grew colder with each passing month. The silence was disheartening for many. The missing statue slowly transformed into a legend. It became a piece of Morrison folklore. Over the years, occasional rumors would surface. Someone claimed to have seen it. Perhaps it was in a private collection. Most of these reports turned out to be false alarms. They led only to dead ends. Yet the mystery endured. It captivated those fascinated by Morrison's life. Decades passed without any concrete news. The statue remained lost to the world. Dedicated fan communities never gave up hope. They kept the memory of the statue alive. Online forums and social media groups discussed its fate. Amateur sleuths shared theories and information. For them, the statue was not just metal, it was a sacred relic. Its absence was a wound that never healed. Section 5, A Whisper from the Past, the unexpected breakthrough. The year was 2024. Almost 37 years had passed since the theft. Most had resigned themselves to the statue being lost forever. Then, an unexpected development occurred. A whisper from the past emerged. It came from an unlikely source. This new information ignited a spark. A glimmer of hope appeared on the horizon. The news began to spread cautiously. It was almost too good to believe. The breakthrough came via an art appraiser. He was working in a small provincial town in France. His name was Jean-Luc Moreau. He was tasked with evaluating a private art collection. Among various paintings and sculptures, one piece stood out. It was a bronze bust of a man. It possessed a certain familiar intensity. Moreau felt a sense of recognition. He decided to investigate further. Moreau began his research diligently. He searched online databases and art archives. He found old photographs of Jim Morrison's grave. The distinctive features of the bust matched perfectly. The collector had acquired it many years prior. He bought it at an obscure estate auction. He was unaware of its true origin or significance. Moreau knew he had to act. He contacted the relevant cultural authorities in Paris. Section 6, Resurrection, the statue's journey home. Authentication experts were quickly assembled. They traveled to examine the bronze bust. They brought detailed records and photographs of the original statue. They meticulously checked every aspect. Specific casting marks were compared. Measurements were taken and cross-referenced. The patina of the bronze was analyzed. After a thorough examination, the verdict was clear. It was, without a doubt, the lost Jim Morrison statue. The news was confirmed. A wave of relief followed. Negotiations then began with the private collector. He was surprised to learn the statue's true history. He understood its immense cultural significance. He cooperated fully with the authorities. He agreed to return the statue to Paris. Legal formalities were handled swiftly and amicably. The focus was on bringing the statue home. The statue's physical journey back to Paris was planned carefully. It was a precious and historic artifact. It needed to be handled with extreme care. Professional art movers were engaged. They constructed a custom crate for secure transport. The journey was made discreetly at first. The media soon learned of the impending return. Excitement grew across the city and beyond. The official announcement of the recovery was made. Section 7, The Enduring Legacy, Morrison's Return and Future Vigilance. Upon its return to Paris, the statue was assessed. Its condition was surprisingly good. There was some minor wear and tear. This was expected after years in unknown locations. Plans were made for its gentle restoration. Expert conservators would clean and treat the bronze. The goal was to preserve its integrity. It was remarkably well preserved overall. Debate arose about its future placement. Should it return to Père Lachaise cemetery? Or would a museum be a safer option? Security was now a paramount concern. The authorities did not want a repeat of the 1987 theft. Various options were discussed at length. Public opinion was also considered. Many fans hoped it would return to the gravesite. That was its original intended home. The decision was eventually made. The statue would return to Père Lachaise. It would once again watch over Jim Morrison's grave. However, this time things would be different. Enhanced security measures were to be implemented. State-of-the-art CCTV cameras would monitor the area. The statue's mounting would be significantly reinforced. These measures aimed to protect it for future generations. The reinstallation of the statue took place in early 2025. There was a profound sense of closure.